The UFC's highly anticipated debut in Saudi Arabia delivered a monumental shock to the mixed martial arts world as French contender Nassourdine Imavov scored the biggest win of his career, defeating former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya in the main event. Held in Riyadh, the card was already historic due to its setting in the Middle East, but the stunning upset elevated the night into one of the most memorable moments in recent UFC history. Adesanya, long regarded as one of the most technically gifted strikers to ever step into the octagon, was making his return after a hiatus from competition. Known for his precision, slick counter-striking, and ability to control distance, many expected him to re-establish himself as a dominant figure in the division. Imavov, on the other hand, entered the fight as an underdog, talented and improving, but not yet tested against someone of Adesanya's caliber. What unfolded over 5 rounds showed that the French fighter was not only ready for the spotlight but may also be a genuine threat to the middleweight crown. From the opening bell, Imavov showed no fear. Instead of allowing Adesanya to dictate range with his trademark feints and kicks, Imavov closed the distance smartly, applying steady pressure while staying defensively responsible. He utilized sharp boxing combinations, mixing in body shots and leg kicks that disrupted Adesanya's rhythm. By the end of the first round, it was clear that Adesanya was uncomfortable. The crowd in Riyadh, initially electric in anticipation of a vintage Adesanya performance, began to sense that an upset could be brewing. The second and third rounds were where Imavov truly took control. His jab became a major weapon, snapping Adesanya's head back and preventing the former champion from setting his usual traps. Imavov's timing was impeccable. Whenever Adesanya tried to launch a counter, Imavov either evaded or answered with quick combinations. The French fighter's patience was also notable. He didn't recklessly charge forward but instead maintained pressure, forcing Adesanya to fight off the back foot. Adesanya did have moments of brilliance, particularly with his leg kicks and some clean counters in the third round. But the consistency wasn't there. Every time he seemed to build momentum, Imavov responded with crisp boxing that kept him ahead on the scorecards. The body language between the two fighters told the story. While Adesanya looked increasingly frustrated and hesitant, Imavov grew more confident with each exchange. By the championship rounds, the upset narrative was no longer a possibility but a reality in progress. Imavov's cardio held up beautifully as he continued to throw volume and mix up his striking. Adesanya, usually the master of late-round adjustments, struggled to turn the tide. His famed ability to read opponents and capitalize on mistakes never fully came to life against Imavov, who fought with remarkable discipline. When the final horn sounded, the energy in the arena was electric. Fans knew they had witnessed history. The scorecards confirmed it, a unanimous decision victory for Nassourdine Imavov, who had just beaten one of the most iconic middleweights in UFC history. The judges scored it comfortably in his favor, a reflection of his dominance throughout the 5 rounds. For Imavov, the victory is career-defining. Once considered a promising prospect, he is now firmly established among the elite of the middleweight division. Beating a fighter like Adesanya instantly propels him into title contention and changes the trajectory of his career. His composure, technical growth, and ability to execute under pressure all point toward a fighter entering his prime. For Adesanya, the loss raises difficult questions. Though still one of the most skilled fighters on the roster, this defeat adds to recent struggles and may signal a decline in his reign at the top of the division. The aura of invincibility that once surrounded him has faded, and his next move will be crucial. Will he continue in the middleweight division, or consider a change in weight class? Regardless, his legacy remains secure, but the road back to another title shot just became more complicated. The UFC Fight Night in Saudi Arabia will be remembered for more than just the spectacle of a historic event. It will be remembered as the night Nassourdine Imavov announced himself to the world by defeating Israel Adesanya. It was the kind of fight that shifts divisions, changes narratives, and creates new stars. For Imavov, it was the performance of a lifetime. For Adesanya, it was a reminder that even the greats can be surpassed by the next generation.